Welcome, everyone, to Wolves After Dark. We are back for game three. Timberwolves win. I don't remember the last score. John Krasinski tweeted out XXX to XXX. But Timberwolves win.
116 and 106.
116 to 106. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We let them come back a little bit in garbage time, but it was basically a 20-point win. Kind of a boring game. Playing Oklahoma City Thunder with some injuries, and well, they had injuries. And we're still not looking amazing yet. As Carson mentions in the chat, only 10 threes, so we still don't have any Arby's this season. We're down bad this year. Down bad. But yeah, initial reactions from you, Ashwin?
I think without that splash surge in the fourth, it would have been a pretty tight fight. And I think I wasn't really liking the majority of what I was seeing out there, but it's early. I feel like I'm going to say that for the first 5-6 games. And then I'm going to say it's a little bit more than early. Quick thoughts, though. I think Anthony Edwards kind of, not necessarily, I wouldn't say a rebound performance, but just out-efficiencyed himself and proved to the coaching staff that, like, this is Ant's team, and it should be, and he should be option A and B moving forward.
Yeah, no, this was a great performance for Ant. Over 30 points, over 10 rebounds, double-double. Second 30-point game in a row after having kind of a rough first game. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Ant looked really good at the gates this game. I think after I don't even remember what it was, but in the first half, I think he had 18 points and 8 rebounds or something like that. But just a good performance from Ant. We're getting to see a lot of the mid-range game that he likes to take. And he's doing these Euros now that are just really effective. And I worry that he's overdoing it, but they continue to be successful. So I'm just kind of accepting it for now. Yeah, no, it was a good game to win because, we are in the very beginning of the season. And like we've been talking about these past couple live streams, we're not playing good teams right now, and we're not necessarily playing good either. So if we can win these games and learn along the way, fantastic. So that's kind of how I'm chalking up tonight's game. Obviously, not something that I'm going to go and tell all my friends about how amazingly fun this game was, but I am happy with a win. So taking the win.
Yeah, it's cool to see a guard get down there, get dirty, get rebounds. It's cool to see. I mean, like, this is kind of weird to say, but it's kind of nice to see a little bit of fight out of Jaden McDaniels. That push, it was kind of like uncalled for, but it was also like, maybe it was getting a little chippy. Maybe Finch wasn't like putting McDaniels in the right position to succeed because they had Mescal at the 3. So it was nice to see some fight out of Jaden. To see the starters that are not Cat like play well, it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I'll just repeat, like, our bench is there. It's formidable. It's kind of routinely been like kind of solid, but tonight, like, those threes kind of splashed from Nasreed and Noel. It was really nice to see, and it's like, and Prince, of course. Moving forward, it's just like it's so nice to have that kind of bench production on a drop of a dime. You can be like, all right, insert offense, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, kind of a weird night overall if you look at the box score. Ants obviously got his good performance, but it's just kind of all over the board everywhere else. We got to see a little bit of Jalen Noel. We'll get into the tier list here in just a second, but Jalen Noel, I'm telling you, I keep giving him these these Shabazz comps.
We gotta stop with that comparison.
No, I don't think I do. I think it's very valid. I'm not saying that he is bad like Shabazz. I'm saying that he has that scorer's mentality that, like, almost horse blinders on. Like, I do not see anything else. He is definitely not as much of a level of Shabazz as that, but I do think that he is. And actually, funny enough, Jim Pete and Michael Grady actually kind of mentioned that, not to Shabazz, but they were talking about the like too much focus. Like he's just too basket driven right now, and he needs to like open up his eyes a little bit more. So
I mean, his player comp is Jamal Crawford, like bucket getter on a drop of a dime. Maybe he's not as elusive, but he's getting there. I think he can get to the rim better than Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford's a little bit more of like a gazelle, as Noel is a little bit more of like a cheetah, or like whatever. He's fast, but he's not like graceful or whatever. He can shoot really well, and it's awesome to see. Shabazz couldn't shoot. Shabazz could drive with one hand. So, but I understand what you're saying, like the offensive kind of like mentality. I get it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What I also really liked to see was like the passing came from everyone. It was kind of like the hockey assists kind of throughout the game, which was cool to see.
Mhm.
What I kind of didn't like to see though is like how we just let the lead slip, how we let any lead slip, how it's normal for the Timberwolves fans to see a lead become a deficit. This is a team we need to put away because guess what? We got to see a healthy dose of Naz Reid in the fourth. We got to see like Wendell Moore Jr. in the fourth. We could take timeouts after a small little 2-point blip from OKC and kind of be like just resting our players and subbing players out. That's what we need to do. Blow out a team, put our bench in, close it out with our scrubs. And I'm glad we saw that. But a little concerned about how we are a little porous and with a defensive identity kind of at a priority this year. We're still kind of like fucking it up for people that are making $1 million or less.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated. Yeah, it's true. I was a little frustrated. I am a little frustrated at the beginning of the season, just because last season, even though we started the season 4-9 last season, so not great, but like we came out pretty strong defensively because that's all we focused on in training camp last year, and it felt really good to have a good defensive team. And our offense struggled in the
Right.
beginning of the season, but like
Wasn't that
we don't.
crazy?
Yeah, we
That
just
was like
don't
that
have
was like
that.
opposite.
Yeah, it was. And we
Yeah.
just I feel like we don't have that same tenacity and same drive. And maybe it's because of the teams we're playing, but like that doesn't matter. Like you have to be engaged, especially at this time. We need to be learning. So,
No, I agree completely.
well, we've been talking about the players a little bit individually. Do you want to just jump straight into that tier list?
Yeah.
Boom.
As we
Tier
do
list.
on a nightly basis when we choose to do so, we do tier lists. Um, Sometimes they're full of tears, though. Tonight is not one of those nights. I'm glad we won. I'm glad we pulled it out. Whatever the fuck that was. End of the third quarter was pretty cool. Splash the fourth. That was pretty cool. Just like make shots. Eventually they'll fall in. Grow some confidence for the next game. For the next game, build on this win. Look at all the wins. Look at all the little micro wins that we developed throughout this game. That's cool to see that lineup with Nas at the 5. I was kind of missing Nas in that game one, like just having
Yeah.
a different kind of lineup, a different change of pace. Seeing Nas out there at times is nice. Mike Muscala makes $3.5 million. James Robinson or Jeremiah Robinson Earl makes $2 million, and these guys were doing work on Cat. These guys were doing almost like the same amount of production as Cat, and Cat makes more than this entire fucking roster combined. And it was a little like disheartening to see that he on I think back-to-back possessions coughed it up, got an offensive foul, turned it over. It was kind of insane. He wasn't like responding to Robinson Earl's 3-point threat. He was lazy on switching. I think that's going to be kind of a narrative to this team is are we able to switch and respond to shooters when we sag and we kind of try to defend the paint either with or without Gobert out there. And I also know that Gobert on the perimeter is, I wouldn't say aside for sore eyes, but he's just a little slow. He's a little slow. So just early observations, really. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna clean some of this stuff up, but it's just not the best kind of defensive effort, as you said, but we put out last year, early in the onsets of last year. Anyways, what's up, Charlie Lauerman, Moises, JBX? What's up, everyone? Carson, dude.
Charlie. Okay, yes, I was talking about Charlie in Cooper's chat. Charlie is like our kind of person.
Oh, Charlie,
Like,
dude. Yes.
yes. All right. Himothy
And what's
put
up,
up
Almighty
30.
4300?
Yes, he did. All right. Well, we're about to get into the tier list. So if you're new here, A1 is an unforgettable game. Glenn Taylor is you're consistently the worst ever. Wancho is you had a bad night. And C is you did exactly what we expected. And everything else in between is self explanatory.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the starters plus one or two bench players tonight.
Yeah.
So,
And speaking of a bench player, we're missing Kyle Anderson tonight. Did you feel it? Like, did you feel that we were missing him tonight?
I felt that we missed it tonight and the last game when he only played for like 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. I think he's going to be like a big part of our rotation, big part of our success this year.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
let's
agree.
do Torian Prince, 23
Yep.
minutes. 11 points, 4 for 8 from the field. Welcome back, Torian Prince. 3 for 5 from 3. Thank you so much, Torian Prince. 3 assists as well to boot. I have a grade for him in 3, 2, 1. B.
B.
Boom.
Very solid. Very good performance from Torian. This is what we need. We need that 3-point shooter, especially just to knock down open threes when we are going up against second and third string players. In the past, we haven't been able to hit open threes. And, to have a player that can hit open threes, drive a little bit, and actually play a little bit of defense is kind of a luxury. So I love having TP on our bench.
Before Nas Reed came in at the end of third, and he came in because of Jaden's kind of stray voltage that Jim P was talking about. Jordan was our only big that was coming off the bench. It was kind of interesting to see that, and how Finch is in the early parts of the season, kind of looking to trim the roster size to just the 2 or 3 dudes, right? So Kyle Anderson at the 5 at times. That's kind of interesting to see what we have decided to go forward with, Nas Reed being kind of a pretty solid backup big, right? Not getting much time. Anyways, Torian Prince, solid stuff. Also, I'm just he had an on performance in the first game, an off performance same too. Just this is the level I want to see from him. Don't need anything less than this, please.
Yeah, this would be a good average.
This is a good average. Let's do Nas Reed quickly, because this is a nice, we got welcome to the season. Nas Reed, 13 minutes, 5 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3, made a couple free throws, 14 points. I feel like that's all in the fourth quarter. I have a grade for him in 3, or do we have a grade for him in 3, 2, 1, B.
B. Yeah, agreed. Again, just solid. I mean, he's been really impressive coming off the bench this year. And even though he didn't play in the first game, it was just he's making impactful plays. He's still getting a couple fouls in the games, but that's okay when you're only playing 15 to 20 minutes. So he's looking really good. And it's just kind of amazing how versatile he is. He's kind of like a mini cat, to be able to shoot those threes and drive, and he's actually playing some good. I mean, he's got a couple blocks too. I don't know if he had a block tonight, but I feel like he's played okay defense.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's okay. And this is better than I expect for Nas. So good on Nas.
This grade is mostly on his production, offensively. I think it would have been a C or a D or even a Wancho, because he got in there and was making Anthony Randolph fouls. Just being available is not good enough. You need to actually kind of just play defense, be in your right stance, or let the guy by and you block from behind, or recover rather than be in his space. It's pretty sad to see defensively some of his stuff that he was kind of still struggling with. Yeah, okay, cool. And then last player from the bench that was worth talking about, in my opinion, McLaughlin. Rest in peace. We'll talk about you some other day. You were awesome. Plus 23, team high plus 23. I guess we're talking about him. But Jalen Noel, 23 and a half minutes, 5 for 16 from the field. Felt like he was making more than that, but 14 points, 1 for 6 from 3, a few free throws, 6 rebounds, which is pretty nice to see, and then 2 steals as well. I have a grade for him. We have a grade for him in 3, 2, 1.
B. I'm a little closer to a C for this, just because of the efficiency. Because you said 5 of 16. For me, it kind of felt like it. But maybe I'm just looking through a unhappy rose tint glasses, whatever I'm trying to say. The opposite of that, because I am viewing it in more of because I don't think of him as a selfish player. I don't. But I think of him as a player that he sees the basket and he can't see anything else. So
Dude,
it's just positive at times. And he has been a positive for us this season and tonight. But I just think that there is a little concern there for me. So
yeah, sure. I mean, when he's chucking and he's not making shots, it sucks. It's kind of basically a turnover, right? When it's just a long rebound for a fast break points. But I love the rebound, the live rebound into an instant layup from him. We don't have another player on our team other than Ant that does that, right? So very excited to see that he knows that that's his role, and he is in the rotation to make buckets, to score, to supplant and replace what Beasley was for us, and I think he's kind of going to be an asset long term.
Yeah, definitely
for us.
I agree. And 2 quick things. One on Jalen. Jalen, I'm forgetting what I was going to say about Jalen. But what I will say, is Bryn Forbes. I'm not going to grade him tonight, but has been disappointing to me. You mentioned Jalen Noel being kind of like our Malik Beasley replacement. I was kind of hoping that Bryn Forbes would be our Malik Beasley replacement,
Oh yeah.
and he's been kind of a no-show this season. Maybe he's still getting used to the offense. Maybe he's still getting used to his role, but like realistically, like his role's not that much different than what he was doing in other teams. So I was really looking forward to Bryn Forbes, and I've been really let down so far. So just my little 2 cents on him. But
Part of it I feel is like the situation of Jalen's cooking, Jalen's getting a lot of burn.
mhm,
We're playing it like a tighter rotation, and I think it's just Finch just trying to feel it out right now for just right now early on. And we saw in the preseason Bryn was getting a lot of minutes, and he was shining in that role. So when he gets time, when he gets to play with starters, he's a nice gunslinger. I really love his form, like his shot form, and I love that he can shoot off the dribble or shoot off the catch. So just like Beasley, right? So more to come from him, hopefully. And like I feel like we're owed that, but not right now, at least. And I'm not too concerned. All right, but on
yeah,
to the starters.
cool.
D'Angelo with 26 minutes, 6 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, a couple of non-stats. I have a grade. We have a grade in 3, 2, 1. C.
D.
Oh,
So it's kind of a weird one. Stats wise,
what
D.
did I do?
But like, did it feel like he needed to do more at times? I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like it didn't like even though his stat wise it doesn't look that amazing, it didn't feel like it had to be that much different. Maybe he could have. I mean, I don't know. I just felt like in the flow of the game, it didn't make sense for him to be doing other things. So that's why I kind of want to give him a C, but I give him a D just because of like 6 points and 6 assists is like like weird stats for your starting point guard. So
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit in the preseason. He's in a weird position where he's an offensive guard that needs to kind of defer, and he needs to pick and pop his spots really.
mhm.
So seeing Ant go off, he's basically saying, "I don't need to do anything. I don't
Yeah,
need to
that's
take
true.
over this game in this moment, or take away from Ant in his going off moment."
Mhm.
We'll see that from
Yeah,
other players on our team, but not D'Lo is a little bit wise above his years for that. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Basically, he's
no,
just a smart ass fucking player.
and everybody
However,
agrees with you, not me, into this
however,
part.
a D for D'Lo would be fine, honestly. But yeah, 6 points and 6 assists don't do it. But against an OKC team where you play 25 minutes, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
Um,
that's I've changed my mind. It's kind of that.
Rudy Gobert. Let's just do that. The Tower of Power, 24 and a half minutes, 15 points, 15 rebounds, motherfucking 15 rebounds. Missed a couple free throws, but he was 7 for 9 from the field. Of course, 7 for 9 around the rim.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I've got a grade for him in 3, 2, 1. C.
B. Yeah, see, I'm like really low on the B just because like 15 and 15 is good and like his production felt really good tonight, but that's also kind of what we expect, from Rudy. So it's like it's hard to give some. This is again like this is probably his worst game. Not even it was better than his worst game because he had impactful moments in this game, but um, I don't know. He's just a weird player to grade because like I guess this is a mediocre game for him, but it's like a good game. Like it's a really good game. And I'm not just talking about the stats. Like I'm talking about true like impactful plays, impactful rebounding. Like there's just a lot that goes into it. So I guess I'm leaning towards a B.
I feel like let's just throw him in the B roll and move on because 50 as Aaron Granson says, 15 rebounds in 24 minutes. That's pretty insane. He doesn't have to
24
do a
minutes.
whole
Yeah.
lot against the OKC Thunder. I'm glad he was there because I do feel like there was like this moment where it was kind of they were just kind of going to the rim at will, and he was kind of inserted back in, and he kind of slowed the game down and put a stop to that. However, some of their bigs were then shooting threes, right? So,
Yeah.
um, anywho, more on that to come. I feel like Rudy Gobert is a consistent B when we don't see him kind of popping off, like we don't really, we don't see him. Like the numbers just happen. We would check the box score at the end of the game. And you're like, holy crap, 20 and 20. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also cool that he's very just like tall, and you can throw a ball high and he'll get it and he'll dunk it, or he'll it's just nice to have that luxury.
I do like that.
Jaden McDaniels, where's number 3? I felt like I barely saw him out there, but he was out there for 27 minutes, 11 points, 4 steals, 3 fouls, some random stats, but 5 for 9 from the field, which is cool because he took 9 shots. I like that. Didn't make a 3 though. Grade him in 3, 2, 1. C.
Just an average game.
Though he got into double digits, though he took 9 shots or whatever, though he had that that kind of comeback swag to like shove Muscala or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like don't do what Cat does.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's
follow another leader.
Yeah. Let's follow the 7'2" leader, not the 6'9", maybe 6'10" leader. Yes, I agree. I do not want Cat to be the role model. So, but I do think I do like the feistiness a little bit from him. Like we were talking about it earlier. Like I do like that showing a little bit of fight and being more aggressive from Jaden. But yeah, this is an average game. I mean, yeah, obviously 4 steals. He, he's defensively impactful, but like, you would maybe hope for maybe a little bit more in a game like this. And maybe I'm thinking maybe I'm still just leaning a little bit on last game where I was more disappointed in him. But yeah, no, I think this was just like an average performance for him. So C makes sense. And the Discord agrees.
So the post with the most is next. Carl, average Towns, 30 minutes, 15 points, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 8 rebounds, most of them defensive. Made all those free throws though. What say you, Rudy Gobert? And he also made a 3. I have a grade for him. We have a grade for him. In 3, 2, 1. D. Let's go.
Yeah, he gets out of Wancho tier for the first time this season, up to D. No, it kind of goes off of what I was talking about a lot last season. He did have some of those like hockey assists that you were talking about earlier, and he didn't have any he didn't have as many egregious mistakes tonight. We were treated with an over the head pass, which I hated / loved. But it was kind of a cool one because it was to Rudy. And Rudy finished, I think it was an and one too. But no, I mean, he's just still making the same mistakes that we see. There just wasn't as many mistakes tonight. There was even a point where I was pretty happy to see it. Rudy came over to him. He's like, just because it was a foul. He had like 2 or 3 fouls in a row at one point. And Rudy came over to him. He's like, just keep your hands straight up and like just wall up. And like, I don't know if that gets through to Towns because obviously Towns has had like 7 or 8 years now to like have things get to him, and they seemingly do not. So regardless, it wasn't the worst game, but I was expecting maybe more threes from Cat, maybe a little bit more just shooting. The one thing that is, maybe a little unfair to Cat is that I don't fully understand why they do it, but they're still doubling him very frequently. And he is still struggling to pass out of them. He did like 50% of the time I say he did okay tonight. And then 50% of the time it was kind of the same thing where he just like really holds on to it too long. But yeah, no, I think I'm talking a long time about Cat, but it's just we're seeing the same mistakes, and maybe today wasn't as bad, but I'm still not pleased with this performance from Cat.
Well, mistakes or not, he's getting paid. And that's
more than the entire Oklahoma City roster.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal to get that kind of bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for the best shooting big in the league, taking 3-point attempts is not enough. Every time I see him drive, I'm not confident in what is happening. Whenever I see him kind of getting the ball as he's sprinting or as he's kind of galloping to get position, I'm not trusting it. Right now, the only thing I can trust is what he's doing the least. which is spot up threes. I think a really cool development is just I like the idea of what I was thinking about, like second year in the league, where we could unleash the point meow, right? Where he's a little bit more of a distributor, a point god, like a tall boy that passes the ball, and I think he can do that for us. But we're not paying Karl Anthony Towns Brad Miller like money. We're paying him Karl Anthony Towns money, like where he should take over the game and beat his Robinson Earl matchups and Mike Muscala matchups, right? So I think he was kind of outplayed at points in this game. And what I did see in the second half was him kind of just shutting up and just kind of being part of the game, but not really taking over at all. And despite a couple of the running sprint dribble turnovers and stuff, but he was kind of just quiet, and it kind of reminded me of the game against Milwaukee where he was like, I play with fucking passion, and but he just he didn't show any of it last in that game. So um, the mean mugging is cool. The passing to Gobert is awesome, and I like that development. I think their chemistry is going to be priority. Like he's going to be right up there with Ant being the alpha dog, Cat becoming like the second, third option. Cat and Gobert's relationship has to grow. For this team to do anything this season, they have to find themselves in this system together this season. It's cool to see some of it, sparks of it early on and right now.
Yeah.
So
And to Cat's credit and Gobert's credit, they seem to be truly both of them, even Cat, really working at it. And it seems like Cat is really, there's been times in the past where you can kind of tell when maybe Cat is trying to it's just like he's trying to pad a stat or something like that. But this feels genuine when he's trying to give Rudy the ball. It feels like he's trying to really help the team and help Rudy. Whereas like in the past, certain other circumstances didn't really feel like that to me. So I don't know. I
yeah,
just to his credit, I think that's a positive.
yeah, like what you said there, like help, kind of be a part of the system, have
Yep.
Rudy like be integrated, as cleanly as possible, and feel like even though Karl Anthony Towns has the ball, it's not like never going to happen for you, Gobert. You're going to get the ball, So
hmm
yeah,
By the way, the Discord was very split on Carl Anthony Towns. Um, 3 Bs, 4 Cs, and 3 Ds.
yeah.
So all over the place. But I put him in
Well,
D for us.
yeah. I just really need to see him shoot 10 threes a game. I
That's what we
want
want.
like
Yeah.
I want that. And then when that is established and kind of sustained for, we can start to go back to the rim again, right? Let's do that again. But first, shoot the threes. We already have a post player right now. So,
Yeah, exactly. And just, I mean, you can hit threes. We know it. Like we saw it the other game. Just do it. But anyways, it's time for Himothy, as Almighty says. Himothy says he's A1. What is Himothy's stat line tonight?
oh my God. I closed my box score because A1 from day one, Black Jesus himself, Anthony Edwards, played all of the first quarter, 1 second, played 33 minutes, 30 points, 4 fouls, 5 turnovers, but that doesn't matter because he had 11 rebounds, 3 assists, hit 3 threes, only went to the free throw line 3 times. Referees, I'm calling on you, Zach Zarba, Scotty T, and Brandon Adair. What the fuck was that? I have a grade for him in 3, 2, 1, A.
A.
Sorry, I didn't even
Yeah,
give
it's
you a
not
second
A1.
there.
No, I was ready. A, like, obviously, I'd love to give him an A1, but this wasn't like an unforgettable performance. This is a great performance. This is a really good. I mean, if this is what we can get out of Ant for the rest of the season, hell yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, A1 is reserved for those like 60-point games, 50-point games, just like crazy buzzer beaters or like Ant in the playing game last year or whatever, like crazy games where you just put the team on your back and it's a historical, unforgettable night. This was just like a perfect definition of an A game where like this was a really, really good performance, better than we expected, and helped the team win. I mean, it was a major part in the team winning with all those shots made. And the good thing about tonight, though, given we were playing such a not great opponent, I do feel like maybe even if we didn't have Ant out there, we probably still could have won. But either way, he was out there and was a big part of the win. So
Yeah, Dort was on him for the most of the game, and he popped off for 30. He was also throughout the game. He was there. It felt like at least, and he didn't let off the gas pedal, which is one of my biggest complaints about him. Dude, it is 3 games in. Think his knees are okay. You know what was really
Maybe.
awesome to see is that despite the lack of calls, he kept on driving to the rim. I was so obsessed with it because he wasn't settling. He had a couple threes, rim out or not go in, and he was like, "Fuck it, let's just keep driving." And the entire first quarter, all he did was just drive to the rim. It was sick to see. So sick to not see, but pay attention to in the box score.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like straight up, this is the puzzle piece to make us a championship contender is him rim attacking without with reckless abandon, honestly, just fucking going hard, getting the calls, getting the calls, getting everyone in foul trouble, opens up the whole game for everyone else. Cat's going to be a better player with Ant driving to the rim. Cat's going to make
Yeah.
Ant a better driver, a better player, better scorer, better finisher by shooting threes. This is all like it's all a system thing, but it also all makes sense. It's so fluid in the sense that if Cat's shooting threes, the post is open. If Ant's driving to the rim, the defenses collapse. It's fucking that's the easiest recipe for success. And we don't see it consistently yet, but it's great to
Yeah.
see.
I did have one thing I wanted to ask you, kind of curiosity. I saw it on Twitter, and coming into the season, I was really excited about the possibilities of because what Finch had kind of said was like, "Oh, we're gonna have Rudy and D'Lo out there a lot of time." Like, well, obviously, we're starting the game with all five of our starters, but then beyond that, it's gonna be like, okay, D'Lo and Gobert are always out there, and then Ant and Cat are always gonna be out there, kind of two shifts, where you go back and forth between having like the good pick and roll, and then Ant's like playmaking, really kicking out to three for Towns or something like that, kind of like you were just mentioning. Um, Tonight, given it's just one night and maybe a little bit of the beginning of the season as well, but like it almost looked good. It almost seems like it's the best when Towns and Gobert are out there together at the same time with D'Lo, and then Ant out there in kind of like a small ball lineup. Um, I know I didn't ask you about this before we went live or anything, so this is putting you on the spot. But do you have any thoughts on that? Do you like the 2 and 2? Do you like Ant being more of like a small ball lineup, or what do you think?
Actually, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I'll try to be somewhat short about it. I think it's a lot. It's a lot to do with just like who he's vibing with on the team. He's vibing with Jalen Noel. His friends Beverly, Vando, Rubio, like have all been have
Yeah.
all been departed from our team. He's vibing with Jalen. He's vibing with the youth of our team, Jaden, and even D'Lo to a lot of respects. Like I remember in that game when we went to overtime, he was like,
Yep.
"There's no accident there. There was no accident that you took that shot, made that shot. It's your time, D'Lo." Like he was like kind of pumping up D'Lo. He's vibing with those players. I think it also makes more sense when he's in the second unit, like or in those like early moments of the second quarter, fourth quarter, where the ball's on his hands. It's a very simple system. It's just your ball. You shoot whenever the fuck you want to. Find Jalen in the corner. Jalen shoot whenever the fuck you want to. Find
Yeah.
Ant. It's like so simple. So he doesn't have to think about like getting others involved. He's just literally trying to score. So the scores mentality works in that regard.
Mhm.
When it's Cat, D'Lo, Gobert, all these other players, I think he has to find himself in a system or in the rhythm, and it's on the coaching staff to say, no, this is your version, this is your team. Go to the rim every possession. It'll help open up the game for everyone else.
Mhm. Yeah. I agree. I think the vibing with people is a huge part of Ant's game. Ant is a vibe driven player. He is going to like he if he's working well with uh Jalen Noel and like Jordan McLaughlin, like that's what Finch is gonna keep out there. He's like, you know what, I don't care. Like I can see that this is working. So they keep it out there. But and yes, good point, Almighty. Once we have Kyle Anderson back, that's going to be interesting. I hope he's not out too long. I imagine he's just day to day. I don't actually know what his whole diagnosis is other than back spasms. But
Honestly, it's so
um,
early. Just take as much time as you need. Like it sucks to have
yeah,
injuries this early that could potentially come back and hurt in
yeah,
long. Just inhibit
exactly.
his post game play. Post season
Mhm.
play. So um, we're in here for a long season. It's fine to just take multiple games off.
Yes, it is. And next game is tomorrow night. Uh,
Really?
Tomorrow night we play the Spurs at home. So we have to fly home. Play the Spurs, and then we play the Spurs again at home on Wednesday. So um, hopefully the Spurs continue to tank all the way to victor. And we get two more wins and make ourselves look nice and pretty. And what would we be? We'd be 4-1
All the
then.
way to Victor. I like that.
So I'm down for a 4-1 start. I'd be okay with that.
If we beat the Spurs twice.
Yeah, if we beat the Spurs twice, and then we go into the Lakers, who will be still winless by the time we play them, which
Yeah, I
also
hope so.
feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good. They do not. I was like, I wasn't worried about them this year, but there was this small part of me that was like, man, the Lakers can't be that bad again. Oh, they can. They are just as bad, if not worse. Um, so I've been watching their games, gleeful, which is embarrassing probably, but it's fun to watch the chaos happen. So we are destined to be the first team to give the Lakers their win, and it will be at Target Center. Oh God, where all the Lakers fans show up.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, that will happen. But well, I that's all I really have for tonight. A kind of a short show. If you're new here, we do
We go
this.
like 3 hours.
We usually go 3 hours. So if you're looking for more content, we do have our season preview video out on our channel. Feel free to subscribe and watch that. Give it a like if you're here, even if you don't watch it, just to boost the algorithm. But yeah, that's kind of all I had. I don't really have any closing thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts going into two Spurs games? Join the Discord.
Uh, yeah, join the Discord, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope it was a good experience for you guys, like a Sunday matinee or whatever. Oh no, it's more like a Sunday evening game. I guess what the Vikings are on a bye week this week,
Yeah, Vikings are on a bye week. You know
so
your
just having
football.
some more Minnesota sports while the Yankees are losing to Houston, and um, I guess the Wild are back now, but whatever. It's cool to have basketball back, really. So
It is. I'm very glad to have basketball back. So cool. Well, as tradition is, 52 wins, or as JBX has been saying lately, 62 wins, still in
yeah,
play. Um, Intro as the outro. We will see you tomorrow night. Wow,
well, that's right.
tomorrow night.
24 hours
See ya.
later.
Bye bye.